we ain't talking about no 2000 and stuff. I'm not talking about the beginning, but I don't know what she did. But I don't know how much. I'm gonna Google it and see. I was like, dang. I said, how you and then got a GoFundMe about she had to raise $15,000 or something. You ever had Charlemagne the God? He got a radio. Okay, he got the Donkey of the Day. She was on Donkey of the Day. Well, somebody came on. Two people watching. You watching? Cause I don't see two. Hey, you thief. Oh, here comes Jeremy. All right. Oh, four people came on. Everybody jumped on here real quick. All right. I know. All nosy, waiting to see what I got to talk about. All right, Dorian. So go ahead. Somebody already dropped off, but you got. All right. I ain't gonna stay here long, so. But let me know about the when you get their email and they just let me know so I can look up your information and tell you exactly what that was on your return because I know you ain't gonna know. I don't remember. Well, let me know. So let me wait to see more people come on. All right, I'll talk to you tomorrow because I work tomorrow from 8 to 4:30, and that's gonna be a long, boring day sitting there waiting for calls and test calls and stuff. But I do have a long week this week because my time with the taxes thing will be boiling down to the boil. It's getting real slow now. Yeah. All right. Well, let me go. Let me tend to the four people who's watching. All right. See you on the stream. Bye. Hey, YouTube. Who else is on here? Hey, Ruthie, Jeremy, Dorian. Come on in the room, and then I'm going to start. I ain't going to stay long this time because I got to go to bed. I'm tired. So I'm going to stay here for a few more minutes. Let y'all know what's going on. Hey, come on in the room, y'all. Give me a thumbs up. And then I'm going to go over some things. It's not going to be random talking about just things. I'm going to target it towards what I'm going to be talking about. And so anyway, y'all just have to hit a replay because I ain't going to repeat this. So remember last year when I was talking about the ELD loan, ELDL from the SBA with the stimulus? And if you were an independent contractor, whether you do Uber Eats, Grubhub, merchandising, whatever, the self-employed or in 1099, last year when they was doing the CARES Act, there was that $1,000 grant. So with that $1,000 grant, there was eligibility where if you got the $1,000, you went online at SBA.gov. You provided your information in terms of income, and the first time they was giving out, basically it was like a little emergency fund, I guess you could say, and it was $1,000. So last year, when they had this money set aside for a small business, a lot of big companies, restaurants, big companies, and a whole lot of people were getting thousands and thousands and tens of thousands of dollars of the stimulus. So, but it was geared towards minority-owned businesses that were supposed to get the grants. But a lot of that money was abused. A lot of it was given to people who weren't supposed to get it in the first place, and people were running scams and whatever. So, last week, I was notified about my application, and it was a $9,000. It was supposed to be $10,000 given total as a grant, and they ran out of money last year, so a lot of people weren't able to apply. Now, if you're self-employed, whether you do Uber Eats, Grubhub, mystery shopping, consulting, any type of small business, and you didn't get a chance to apply for the grant, they extended that deadline till January, February, March 31st. Or was it May? I want to say to the end of May. But anyway, so I got an email about my application that I put in. And the difference, since I already got the $1,000, it was a $9,000 additional. So basically what you had to do was you had to authorize the SBA to obtain your record of accounts, which is your transcript of your tax return for 2019. And you must have a government ID showing your address and that you're the person who applied. So, and then you also had to be in a low income area. So what I'm going to share with y'all is the SBA map in regards to you had to live in the area low income. Ain't no more low income than Stone Mountain. I assure you that. So let me go ahead and share with y'all the screen. Y'all see the map? So anyway, this is the SBA targeted EIDL advanced low income communities. So, oops, this is somebody else's address. So anyway, what you do is if you lived in these areas that's in purple, so let me put my zip code in for 30087, which is Stone Mountain. So right here, Stone Mountain is here, and then you see some of these areas in Georgia, for instance, they consider low income. So you had to live within these areas. Now you can put your actual address and then it will target. So mine was targeted straight there, right there in that middle where you see that little thumb. And as you can see, they based this on the census. So, oops, let me go back. So right here, this is the map. This is the policy map for the SBA, and you had to live within these purple areas. And you could just put in your address, zip code, actually put your actual address. And then if you lived in that zone, you would get the additional grant. Now, there's a difference between the PPP loan and the grant. The PPP loan basically is if you have less than 300 employees to one, which is if you're an independent contractor working for yourself, you probably be one individual, especially when you do the gig work. But say you have other members in your family that works for you, then you just indicate the number of people in terms of the employees that you have. So this past week, I got an email saying, we're going to review your application and go over some things. So the only thing they basically did was ask me to provide within 7 days my driver's license and my record of accounts of your transcript for 2019. You go to irs.gov, and when you go to irs.gov, you answer, you go ahead and choose your individual tax return records, fill out some information, make sure it's you, then you will actually get access to your transcript of record of accounts. Now, record of accounts are used for various different reasons, from mortgages to applying for different grants. And then I sent it to the caseworker of my grant. So then Thursday morning, I sent the information. He said he received it, and then he called me on the phone. Now, this is where it came into play. He called me because he asked me. It showed I put down $12,000 plus dollars when I was doing the gig work. Now, I did not get 1099. So he was like, "Where are you getting this income from?" So I told her, I said I did various different gigs, Zifty, all those work from home job companies as I was working as an independent contractor, Uber Eats, Grubhub, all those apps, and the cash tips I was making too. So I said, "Oh, I made that from that company, this." And pretty much he was like, "Okay, you'll hear from me within an hour in an email. If you get a personal email from me, then you got approved for the $9,000. So he said, "I don't know when it's going to get direct deposited. So you're going to get $9,000. I was like, "Yes." So it was $10,000 that they issued on this ED loan, not loan, stimulus. So the 23rd, I get an email about the supplemental ELE grant. And if you qualified for the ELE supplemental grant, it was $5,000. And it was another round. Now, this ain't no stimulus about the $1,400 and nothing like this. People don't realize that there was a lot of money in that stimulus bill. And a lot of things I don't think people are, some people are aware of it, but some people on YouTube, they try to make a master class about it. I'm like, how the hell are you going to do a master class? Everybody just got new the same time, or people trying to make digital information packages and charging people to get this money and everything else, and creating a lot of fraud. You don't need to pay anyone let me stop sharing this map. You don't need to be paying anyone for information that they put into a digital package and then try to charge people about applying. Now, there are some organizations that will assist you with the application process, but at the same time, they may be offering some other side information not related. So, I don't know. I came across a couple of companies, not a company, but it's one organization. They'll say, "Well, we could help you get the PPP loan and this and that or whatever." But all there is simply a service that provides for information. They don't charge you, but at the same time, you got to be careful when you come across people who try to charge for that type of information. It's not that hard, but you just have to make sure that you're legit. Whether you don't need to be an LLC, you don't have to start an LLC. And then let me tell you, I don't know if y'all heard of Charlemagne the God. I was watching his YouTube channel earlier today, and he was saying that there was this one young lady had a GoFundMe account, was trying to raise $15,000 or $30,000 or something like that, because she got the PPP loan, committed fraud basically, and she opened up a GoFundMe account because she didn't want to go to jail because she had 3 kids, so she had to pay the money back, and she had a way of paying it back, so she did a GoFundMe account. So he put her as Donkey of the Day, and I was like, "You stupid as hell." And Charlemagne the God was like, "Oops, that's my." So Charlemagne the God was saying that God was trying to tell her something and teach her a lesson, and for her to even do a GoFundMe account, that she was basically being stupid, basically, but But I said, who's really the stupid one? Is it the dumb ones who even gave her the money to pay back the SBA loan so she don't go to jail for committing fraud with the SBA, and she trying to raise money because she got 3 kids and she didn't want to go to jail. But but before you fill that application out, you sign your name saying, to my best of my knowledge, that this is accurate and blah blah blah. And if it's false information, it tells you that just in black and white. So many people within a year, from last year to now, has been going, getting $2 million loans and all this money for false businesses that never started. Big people too. It was like a rapper. How you gonna say you had a trucking company and you started an LLC? People started fake LLC. So Charlamagne the God was like, making up all these. He was like nigger LLC, ghetto blah 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 LLC. He would just say the whole. I mean, it was kind of funny because he was saying that so many people got caught up establishing fake LLCs to get this stimulus money, the grant money, basically, whether it be PPP loan and stimulus. And I was like, that's stupid, So now there is the supplemental elite grant. It's $5,000. They just announced it 2 days ago. And it's a first come, first serve basis. And for those who are eligible, they're going to get an email or a message when it's time to apply. So I'm going to wait for that. So the most that you could get out of this grant is $15,000. So I'm going to wait for my little $9,000 to come in a couple of weeks. He told me he don't know when it's going to be deposited. So, but let me tell you about my experience in terms of filling out this grant. Now, I have to thank somebody, because I would have never really applied if this particular person didn't call me and tell me about it. She told me, I mentioned the person's name before, but I don't want to mention it again. So she told me, that's okay, I'll go ahead and apply. And then when I got that $1,000, it was within a week, less than a week, I got the $1,000 when this person told me. I went online, filled out my information. You don't have to be no LLC. You can actually just provide your name, social security number. You indicate what type of business you were doing. In my case, it was courier, which falls under food delivery, grocery deliveries, whatever. And look who it is. Coolest 85. I'm fine. So that's all you had to do. So when they gave out that $1,000, and that was for just because I'm one employee, which is myself as an independent contractor. So when I got that $1,000, it wasn't that hard. You just have to fill it out. When the funds was available at that time, I got a direct deposit to my account. So that $9,000 additional was really part of the initial part of the stimulus bill. Because like I said, a lot of people were big businesses. They were getting that money, and it was fraud, and it was really supposed to be set aside for small business, which is under 300 employees, and in a poverty area like the one I showed you on the map just a few minutes ago. You put your address, and if you was in that area, boom, that was it. And then when I had a few months ago, well, not a few, how long ago? March, somewhere around March, I filled it out and authorized them that they could look at my tax return, which is the 4506T. And then, like I said, last week, the guy, you could tell he was a young black guy, called me on the phone and said, where did you come up with 12,000 something? I told him. And I said, and I made about that amount doing all those food deliveries and different that. Not my regular job, just this independent contractor. So I will do another video more in detail about it if anybody's interested. If you're interested and you did Uber Eats and Grubhub and whatever back in 2019, because when I did it, it was like 2018 when I did it in 2019, and you worked doing those gig work, and it's not how much money you've made, as long as you've done something. Even if you made $2,000, so whatever kind of money you make, you may be eligible for this grant. Oh yeah, I'ma still curse them. I'ma still curse them out. But I know one thing: all those troubles I did trying to make ends meet and do all these good work jobs, here it is. Who would think that this coronavirus and all this American Rescue Plan and all this money that they giving out, that's fine. $10,000, I'll take it. I will take it. And then if there's another $5,000, so the most you could get out of this stimulus deal is $15,000. So I'm gonna wait and see what happens when it's going to be deposited, and I'll come back and let y'all know. Then, you know what, Colas, I heard, that's what I heard. Somebody mentioned it, but I don't know. I don't know. I don't know if it's a good thing to do that. If you're going to be giving out all this money, why don't you just give one flat rate to everybody? Like I said, the new tax laws that would, not tax, the child tax credit, where they said $1,500 per child, and what was it, $1,500 and $1,608. I don't even remember. I've done taxes all year. Now I'm gonna tell y'all about that in a few. I heard, but it's not really another stimulus. It was something that people were getting an additional amount of money. It was some additional amount of money that people were supposed to be getting. And it had nothing to do with being married, have a bunch of kids and all that stuff. It was something that they supposed to give an extra something. I don't know. I got to do more research on that before I speak on that. But it's not another stimulus. It's supposed to be a payment. They got a hiring. Of course, I heard that. I heard that they was giving $50 at the McDonald's somewhere in Florida for you to fill out an app. If you just come in fill out the application, they was giving people $50 just to fill out a job application to work at McDonald's because they can't find employees to work at the restaurants. And that's so stupid. $300 or what? Tell me what $300. What are you talking about? 300? 300 what? And then I know in Atlanta, not even in Atlanta itself. I drove around Atlanta the other day doing my little assignments and stuff. And every place I drove, even Chick-fil-A had a sign, now hiring. I saw so many. Every single restaurant, fast food place, they was hiring. They were hiring. And then one place in Florida, they talk about they were going to pay $18 an hour. I was like, what? At McDonald's? Well, I heard all of the Chick-fil-A's, they were limiting their menu because of food costs. But that's not... Well, how much damn Dunkin' Donuts can you sell? I mean, it's like coffee. Most of Dunkin' Donuts, Subway, a franchise owned by mostly a lot of Indian people or minority people. Most of them Indian. And shit, you wouldn't get me. Hey, lady TA, you wouldn't get me to work at no damn Dunkin' Donuts or Subway. especially Subway. Ugh, nasty. It used to be so good at one time. I don't know what happened with that processed meat. But yeah, those Dunkin' Donuts and Subway and all those independent restaurants, they weren't trying to pay nobody nothing anyway. They were not trying to pay nobody nothing. They still want to talk about $10. I saw you talk about $10. Really, $10? Mm-mm. People could stay at home. And I don't agree about putting the minimum wage to $15. Not to work in no fast food. I'm sorry. I know people be like, man, they pay 15. No, they do not. I don't think paying being fast food is warranted $15 an hour. If they get paid $15 an hour, then I need to be getting paid 25 to $30 an hour on the jobs that I'm doing. And I'm only getting paid $16.75 at Maximus working for the CDC, and Intuit was 19 an hour. But those are seasonal. But after working this tax season, I said, shoot, let me hurry up and really be serious about my tax business, which I'm going to be doing. Because I put my service out on this website called Abigail, and someone Googled my name and called me to do their taxes. They had this old man. Matter of fact, I need to find his number again. He had 3 years of tax returns to be done and stuff. And I said, you know what? I need to be real serious about my tax business, you know. But that's why I haven't been on here a lot, because I've been working with Intuit, and I've been just so busy. But I'll collect on my bonuses and stuff. Nope. Exactly, Lady TH. Why people who work in healthcare, even if you're a nurse practitioner or or nursing assistant, CNA, they don't even get paid no $15. So why should somebody fast food, nasty attitude, nasty food should get paid 15? No, nope. 12, I would say. I would even say $11.50, but not no 15. In Atlanta, I've seen people say, "Oh, we get paid the next day." They try to do same day pay, but they're only going to give you a certain percentage of your pay. So, and if restaurants and fast food places is that dire need to, they can't hire anyone, what's going to happen? What they need to do is just be open limited time. I think that, if you can't get people to work, maybe you need to close earlier, because Lord knows McDonald's, they say 24 hours, and then you drive up there at midnight. They talk about, well, we close, we won't be opening back up at 3. And then I said, then you're not 24 hours, It's amazing how convenient they want to be, And I could tell you, if you go to McDonald's and they be like, "Oh, we close," or "We doing this," and because they ain't got nobody, because nobody don't show up for work. That's the one up the street from my house. I could go up there and say, "Ooh, let me go get some McDonald's." Man, they be closed. Yep, slow as hell. They be slow as I don't know what, and then get an attitude. That's why people be jump. That's why I've been watching a lot of videos and news. People jumping at the Burger King window, and one black lady, that was dumb. Though, why you gonna jump in the drive-through window and point a gun at someone? Ooh, and that's where y'all asked to go to prison for stupid stuff. I mean, that was like, and it's not like a rare occasion. It's like I've been reading that like 2, 3, 4 instances of people getting mad at the drive-through, pulling guns out, and jumping in the windows and acting a fool. I don't know. If they do, that's probably years ago. I haven't, I don't know. You must be talking about the original one, the Dorf. I don't know. I've heard about it, but it's not on this side of town. It'd probably be where the original Chick-fil-A, or they call it the Dorf House, up there in Fayetteville, somewhere, College Park, somewhere. I don't know. I doubt it. I heard a 24-hour Chick-fil-A, but they probably been changed that. But anyway, well, this person who ran through that window with the gun, they was at the Burger King. But I also heard incidents happen at the McDonald's. But shoot, some people do need to be choked. The way they be getting their nasty attitudes. Oof. You just don't know. And there be these young kids that be talking about, like, can you move your car and I'll get you. No, motherfucker, I'm not going to move my car until you feel like it. And then I'll be like, these fries are cold. We just dropped it. No, these are cold. One time I said, oof, I don't like eat at McDonald's no more. Nope, nope, nope. Yeah, they got like a nasty attitude. And then they got the nerve. One fat girl talk about she pregnant. Somebody threw something at her. The lady behind her saw what happened, and then they did a GoFundMe account. Talk about she was crying, and she got like $20,000 of money raised from a GoFundMe account. And they said, no one need to be treated like that. He feels so sorry. She crying. Bitch, what the fuck did you say to have to provoke somebody to throw something in your face? Talking about she crying to be no. Welfare bitch. These people, they to get their earned income tax credit when they get the, with all the 50 billion kids they got, they work at McDonald's. They just work just enough of months to get some income so they could file for earned income tax credit and all that kind of crap. That or the government told them you had to. Isn't it like 5K now? What's 5K? You can be asking questions in riddles. Ask a full question. No, they're not getting that credit like they used to. They're not getting that additional child tax credit, this credit. They're getting that in 4 months and breaking and giving them in months increments. It was like what? 1,500. No, the earned income credit is based on your income. The lower your income, it's not a flat amount like that. It's all based on your filing status, and it's based on your income. And if you have dependents on top of that, that's how they determine it. But it's a lot of changes about that anyway. The earned income credit, the child tax credit, and all that. So, well, let me tell you, Colas, the child tax credit, it's too much to explain. I don't even want to go on that with the child tax credit and stuff. All I know is I never come across a bunch of dumb people in my life, using TurboTax, and then they calling in the chat talking about. I said, well, can you click on the blue link and read it? And I said, you're not calculating numbers. You're just entering your information. It'll all calculate for you. And people are so shocked and surprised that they call in. I thought I was supposed to get this amount. No, man, no, sir. The IRS changed the rules and the regulations about this, and another. No, it's not legal. It's not illegal. If earned income is basically income that you need to earn, not unemployment. So a lot of people, when they get Section 8 housing and all this other stuff, they have it where they require now you have to work, find a job and work. So like I said, a lot of people just, they They go anywhere to work, any fast food place, boom. They work 3 months out the year, 4 months or whatever, just to keep their little Section 8 housing and just to get, just to file to get the return. But let me tell you, that about to change real quick. Real quick. People calling me my stimulus money, I'm like, shut up. Nerve wracking. Then they got these bums talking about, I file return, you gotta get a stimulus check. Nigga, if you don't get the hell off my chat, get up the hell off my phone, talking crazy. People trying to date. You just trying to file so you get a stimulus check. I say, okay, well, and you know what though? What's so funny about it is that they'll call in. I said, well, in the chat, they got no W-2 information, no nothing. They got $1,800. The bottom line, $1,800. I was like, how the hell did this thing calculate? They get $1,800 on a stimulus. So people filing returns ain't got no income. You just file a tax return for the stimulus, $1,800. Well, that's on them. And then the thing about it, you're gonna spend on Gucci and let it at least be real. How you gonna buy some fake Gucci, fake Louis Vuitton bag, fake? I told someone there, I said, why the hell am I gonna spend $500 on an imitation brand when I could actually should buy the real thing? Stupid dumbass. Fake Gucci. You know damn well Gucci made no damn Gucci belt, and you know they ain't made no raggedy ass shoes. Gucci did not make that. People with the Gucci belt, and they got the vest and the cheap ass hat. Ain't nobody made no Gucci belt and no hat. Be duped. That's a problem with black folks. We always get duped for stupid stuff. You buy me a Gucci belt, and anything ain't real. Man, nigga, buy. You get the hell on with that cheap stuff. You're gonna buy something real, buy it for real. Made in China, exactly. Imitation. Spend all your money on dumb stuff. But yeah, people were getting that little $1,800 stimulus. They filed a return. It's the rebate recovery credit, and I was like, something ain't right. You just file a tax return. Can you imagine if you find a bunch of homeless people? And I ain't trying to be down on homeless people, but can you imagine if you found, remember those people that used to stand up in front of Domino's when they used to work at Domino's doing the pizza deliveries? Man, if I had round up 3 of those bums and say, oh, hey, okay, what's your information? You just give me $800 a piece and you get the, Let me tell you, last time I saw, my hair is so dry. The last time I saw people running for money like that, remember back in before 2000, this ain't the first time we got a stimulus check. There was stimulus given. It was back in the Bush administration. It was like $500. No, it was $800, and it was a stimulus. This ain't the first time we got stimulus. Well, they got to change the rules, all right. It's called going to jail. Cling, cling. So people are filing for that fake PPP and claiming LLCs on businesses they haven't done. And like I keep telling y'all, people be trying to make up these videos. Oh, you could do an LLC. No, you cannot. Oh, what's PPP? Payroll Protection Plan. Basically, it's the loan. Like if you would say, Colas, you did Instacart and all these other things, you could apply for a PPP, which is a loan for payroll protection, but it has to be kind of related to your business expense. So basically, if you lost your income, where a lot of people who were independent contractors, whatever you do, just pick an app, and a lot of the income was lost. You could either apply for a PPP loan. Now, someone I know apply for a PPP loan, but if it's PPP loan, it could be forgiven. Now, I'm going to do another video and talk about that, but I just came here really to say that the stimulus grant was based on the 2019 tax return. It was eligible for people who did any kind of gig work. It make no difference what kind of gig work it is. Uber Eats, Grubhub, DoorDash, Instacart, um, merchandising, the things that I was doing with survey.com, working from home, not as an employee, but as a 1099. That basically qualified for the Ely grant and the PPP. Now, let me share this one last map again, because I'm going to go to bed because I got to get up and be there at work at 8 o'clock sitting at this computer. So let me show y'all this one more time. Okay, so you see this? This is a map. You put in your zip code and you put in, and if you lived in these purple areas, now this is just one area. This is not all of the United States. And that was part of the criteria for the Ely grant. What's your zip code, Colas? 34771. Well, based on the zip code you gave me, if you gave me your exact address, you don't have to give it to me in the chat. It may not be in the area. They don't consider that area as a low income area. Now, if you lived in these purple areas, then you would get it. But it says NA 32832. 32832. 32832. Dang. Nope. You still too outside. Nope, nope. I don't know where these purple areas are along this Florida, but it don't seem to be a lot of areas in Florida meet that low income. West side of Orlando. Now it does say it don't have to be your physical address, but say you had like a warehouse of some sort, or you conduct business somewhere else, then you would get it. So you don't. I don't know, or I don't know. It seems here pieces. See, to get the accurate area is put your actual address, your actual physical address. They talk about Kissimmee, little parts of Orlando, I guess. Atala, I don't know what this is. Ain't a whole lot of areas in Florida. It ain't that many, but you can still get the PPP grant. This is more for the Ely, the grant, the advance. So if you live, you can still get the different programs. There's different programs. Well, you know what? Y'all got that crazy governor talking crazy in Florida, Florida Republican state. So they was like, okay, we're going to teach y'all. Y'all want to act a fool? wait and see what it comes. That's what that's about, to be honest. But that's just for the advance. You can still get the other PPP loan if you qualify, and then you can still get that. You don't have to pay it back as long as it's some type of reduction in income. But 3474134. Hmm. Yep. If you lived in 34741 and you're at, well, you know what? This gives an accurate one when you put your actual address. But yeah, it's on that little tip. So most likely it will count. That area would be in the low income area. But the thing about, no, because the thing about that is you have to have a business. That's the thing. Like I said, you could probably still get that grant. It's just you probably can still get that grant. It's just a matter of you have to make sure you file your tax return that you have reported their income on the Schedule C. So not every, but it's because people live in that purple area. There's other things you have to abide to as well. But there's different ones. So if you had like a food truck or restaurant, there's one for restaurants and things like that. Oh, what's gonna happen when I get it? When I get it, I'm just gonna put it in my I'm gonna put it in my little stash with the rest of my income. That's it. Ain't nothing gonna happen. Only thing I'm saying is that that's why it's important to report your income, whether you get cash and you're self-employed. That's all. When you get it, you don't have to pay it back. It's not a loan. I mean, the one I'm getting is the grant. I didn't choose to get a PPP because I was like, at the time when I understood it, it was a loan. It was like 3-4% interest rate. They gave you 10 years or whatever it was to pay it back. And then now it came back and said, no, you may not have to pay it back. So it was just too confusing. Hey, Shelly Shell, it was too confusing about that PPP loan. So, I mean, some people I know who took the loan out, they were doing deliveries and stuff, and therefore that was part used to purchase a vehicle. So the only thing I have to research for them is how do you apply so you don't have to pay it back. So a lot of the loans that people got, the PPP, which was supposed to cover payroll, and it's not payroll for other employees. If you your own person, single person, independent contractor, you're paying yourself. And if it's a certain percentage, like 80% of it, you don't have to pay it back. But I'm going to get more details and more specifics on that. So, but the main thing about it is, Coach, you only have to pay it back if it's a loan. It's the PPP loan. But it's not a new rule. But as any government programs, when it comes to loans and things like that, there are some conditions where most people don't have to pay that back. They came out as a loan. Now, part of that $15,000 that I was talking about, that's also, you can't go over 15,000. So if they gave someone, say, $10,000 and it was a PPP loan, then the other $5,000 that they're rolling out, it cannot be used for the same thing. It's confusing. As any government programs, when they write these bills and policies, nobody really don't understand it. They just, all I know is free money. It's supposed to stimulate the economy. The only thing about these loans, or whether it be a loan or a grant, you can't use it for real estate. You cannot be a real estate investor and get the money and then try to flip houses with that. That's the main thing you cannot do. That you go to jail for. Because there were some people trying to get this PPP money and trying to get this grants and stuff, and they try to use that money to do real estate investing with it. Nope, you cannot do that with that money. That's purely for whatever the businesses that you're doing, whether it be Uber, doing grocery deliveries, delivery service, whatever, merchandising, going to stores, online, you get arrested. You cannot be doing that. You cannot get that money and then try to do it for real estate investing. That they asked that on that question. That's one of the main things they ask you. It says that's clear as the night as day. How they going to remember I told you that when you get the record of accounts, when the SBA asks for a record of accounts, that's your tax return transcript. Well, if you have real estate investments and you are a partner, or whether you're an individual doing real estate investments, they give you a 1099 and you have to file a Schedule E, which is for real estate. The IRS and the SBA, they know all of your financial information. That's how they put liens and levies on people. So they go to turn around and say, okay, you authorize them. When you authorize the government, they got authorization that they can look up and see whatever all the accounts you got. They know every 401k. They know every 1090. You know every bank investments you have. You can't buy if you buy property in another country, you still have to pay the taxes to that country, and you still have to disclose that. You just can't open up a business and buy, foreign. That's what the tax code has a thing about foreign income. They ask you about that foreign income. Most countries have trade agreements, tax treaties amongst each other. If you pay taxes in another country, you don't have to pay the taxes in the United States. But if you are United States and you have foreign income, you got to report that on your tax return. But I don't want to you're gonna get me off topic. That's a whole new. That's a discussion all in itself. But put it this way, Colas. When you go to another country and you buy property in another foreign country, trust and believe that is a known fact. The IRS, the foreign governments, you trust me, you don't want to be messing with that. That's free game you just dropped. So one time I was thinking about if real estate was getting so out of control here. It's not just in the United States, it's all over the world. I've been watching a lot of videos, people doing van life and RV life, even in other countries. They said the real estate in England and Australia and all over the world is just as ridiculous in regards to people living in it. They don't have no place to live, and these older people, younger people too, all people are affected with this whole entire world economy. People buying tiny homes, people living in RV vans. Yeah, they announced that last year in Scottsdale. They were building a tiny home community up there in that area, and that's a real poor area. It's like kind of, there's some properties to be made in Atlanta in terms of real estate, but it's being snatched up by big hedge fund companies. Let me remove that real quick. It's being snatched up by big companies. And you remember, Colas, I was talking about I wanted to do a tiny house because all this house I got is too much for me. I wanted to do a tiny house, But then I saw this black girl today in Atlanta, 25. She was doing Airbnb. She was building a tiny house in back of her in her backyard, and she was renting. It was real nice too. I was like, her name was Princess something, and I want to say she lived on the east side, not east side, south side of town. So most likely she probably lived at East Point, College Park, one of them. And she was building a tiny house in the back of her main house, and she was only 25. And then she did other, and she rented out as Airbnb, and it was mostly focused for travel nurses because a lot of people. And she said that she had spent $35,000. It was already a shack, and you build it in the backyard. I got my backyard is big enough to do to make a shack in the backyard and do a tiny house. Yeah, let me tell you about her story real briefly. What I heard when they 2 years ago when the Super Bowl was in Atlanta, she had first rented out her her apartment in Buckhead, and she did the Airbnb. Then she built a tiny home in the back of her backyard, and she said she did a lot of things. She did a lot of things wrong because she said she ended up spending like $35,000. I was like, dang, that's all $35,000, and but she had some bad contractors and stuff, but and it was nice too. It was right there on YouTube. I mean, if you look up Princess, I can't remember her name, but she was here in Atlanta. I had sent a message. I said, "Well, let me know what contractors you work with, because I would be curious to know." And she built it really was to rent the big house, her main house, and she was going to live in the tiny house because she said she'll be a minimalist, and it was too much. But it was real nice though. And I was like $35,000 just to build it, and she was doing it herself. She was, her Instagram. Um, she did a lot of things, not building the physical building, but she did some of the things she did herself, and she learned to do it, and I was impressed. And she said she was on the verge of making. Um, did she say 100,000? 10,000 a month, something like that. She said. I said, all right. I said, make sure you account for the taxes. If you need someone to help your tax, I sent her a message. But I'm quite sure she probably got a count it. But yeah, I saw that in one place I went to deliver pizzas at Domino's. It was an Airbnb, and I had went to Tucker, and they told me go past this and stuff. It was real nice, and I got there, and they was renting their house as an Airbnb, and it was like a little thing in the back too, and it wasn't nothing fancy, and that was a great idea. You know why I say that's a great idea? Because say you got an eviction. No, it wouldn't work in New York. New York is too restrictive, and there's not much you could build. That's why they got in Manhattan, there's skyscraper. No, it wouldn't work in New York. Now, you have to be no. No, because I don't think they got so many apartments and stuff. They said that a lot of people left New York. There's a lot of apartments in Harlem and New York that people. Nah, the tiny homes wouldn't work in New York. It didn't even have to be a tiny home. To be honest, it's just it was just I don't know. I don't think it'll work in New York. It's already congested. It's already crowded. You know, it's only so much land that's available to build tiny homes. Mm-mm. But let me tell you another opportunity that came, and then I'm going to go to bed because it was a site where I signed up a few months ago, and if people wanted to store their items in your home, whether it be an attic or a closet. So I put it out there on this site called Neighbor, and I got a response. I got 3 responses. Someone would have rented my garage space to leave a camper. I said $500 a month. They was like, that's too much. Then I knocked it down to like $150 a month. But then after that, I said, how big is your camper? I said, no, that ain't gonna work. And then it was exciting, so I just need to revise my ad thing out because I said, you know what? People can't even afford storage. So they actually have people who have private. I can store the attic. I could store things in the garage. I could store anything in a room. And you could just charge them per inch to store whatever. So I came across a company like that a few months ago. And they even gave me a gift card just for signing up to do it. So, but I had got some response. Somebody wanted to park their camper in my carport area. But I was supposed to get back with them, and I never did because I was kind of like, But then I was like, damn, there's so many ways of making money on so many different things. But I wanted to do so. But that's all I got to say for today. Then they start bringing people in the camper. Well, if they was to park their camper in my garage or whatever, they couldn't have them to stay and live there, for one. But there's people I've seen in the RV life and the campers, and so many people are resorting to doing that. But something like that will work in my grandmother's hometown in Cross. There's a camp right across the street, well, across our little highway. It was a bunch of campers. I said, where the hell this came from? Somebody bought that land across the street from my grandmother. It was nothing but swamp. And somebody bought it, and then people go there to camp. And it's like trail. It's not a trailer park, but it's like a camper or some sort. And I saw that, so someone did that. I was like, damn. So I know where my grandmother lived, trust me, all that land in my great-grandparents' land across the way. Y'all remember the video when I made during Christmas when I was at my grandparents' land? I was walking through and showing it, y'all. I don't know if y'all remember that. No, the video never loaded. It never loaded. But you just have to find, it don't have to be a major city or a well-known place. It could be one of those small towns that no one hear of, and you could buy something real cheap when you could afford it, or if it's in your family, within the family, prime real estate for anything. Even if people don't even rent out the houses and whatever, they just want to go to wildlife, go fishing. They got that Lake Moultrie and right there on the low coast on the Charleston area, Goose Creek, and all those places. They start to be more like suburbs, and it's just great opportunities. But anyway, Somerville, yep. Those places is not country like it used to be when you think about it, Colas. It's now more like suburbs and, but it's still inexpensive though. I could tell you that. I know one thing. I'm going to have to start looking into South Carolina. Oh, you did the Airbnb? I told my mother she should rent that house she got into Airbnb, and she asked me what that was. You know, my mother, I tell you, I moved to Goose Creek. She want to buy in 5 years. She wants to downsize from the house she lived in on that golf course, and she gonna sell that house and want to move into. She said there was these townhomes for 100,000 that they were building. She said she want to look into getting one of those because she said she was tired cutting grass and not maintaining the house. Yep. So she's tired of that house. She brought it, sold the one in New York in the Bronx. Made 10 times more money than she made on that. Now she's ready to sell this one and move into a townhome, which is more smaller. I was like, dog. But I said it makes sense. So, but the way how the market is a real estate bubble bust. It's not a bust. They keep talking about it. Oh, Charleston just felt very segregated. You know, those are those people who came from other places. They moved to Charleston and they just changed the whole friendliness of South Carolina. I ain't trying to say South Carolina ain't racist and stuff, but it ain't no different than any place in the South. But Charleston wasn't really like that. You used to go to South Carolina, you know, they had the little rednecks, you know, acting all crazy and stuff. But other than that, Charleston has not always been like that. It was very friendly. But you know, they said smiling faces, friendly faces in South Carolina. People moved to Charleston and they just started acting like whatever. A lot of people move carpetbaggers that call, you know, people moving from other parts of the country, move to South Carolina and Charleston, and they just start, you know, change the whole dynamics of the friendliness. But those are just the new people who, you know, came into Charleston, especially when Charleston became a more well known for restaurants and stuff. People moved to Charleston, jack up those prices, and you know they just act a fool. Because you know Viola Davis, you know she's from St. Matthews, South Carolina. Got that right. You should put it out there and see what place that was. They still got their, you know, I ain't trying to say they all 100%. But Charleston, it's kind of different. You know, I have relatives who lived in Charleston, my grand aunts and aunts and stuff. They lived in Charleston and lived in those houses and stuff. Years. North Charleston, Charleston. It's not this. See, a lot of people be moving from different places. They just change the whole thing. People want to buy up people's land, particularly owned by black folks and stuff. You know, that's why I say you have to hold on to your heritage. Hold on to your um. You got to hold on to things. You know that church that devil killed those people in that church. My cousin got married at that church. But that shooting happened in the basement. One of the people who got killed was related to me. Well, my family's related. I can't tell you how related. You know, College of Charleston. Yeah, my cousin went there. Like I said, there's jerks and fools everywhere you go. But let me tell you, I don't know. Yeah, that shooting that happened, Prelo. That's one of my family member name on my mother's grandmother's side. One of the person in the Prelo. That's a family name. One day I'm gonna have to show y'all my family books, family union books. I know they had a big T-Mobile headquarters. Yeah, I did hear they had that big T-Mobile headquarters up there in Goose Creek somewhere. Don't sleep on South Carolina when it comes to cost of living. Don't, because everybody want to move to Atlanta. I'm gonna move to Atlanta. I'm gonna move to Atlanta. But to be honest, South Carolina, not really so much Charlotte, but there's other cities within North Carolina that's really kind of it's affordable now. But see, so many people moving from California and all these other places, and see, everybody want to look for places that got land and space. Everybody ain't trying to live in the big city and live on top of each other no more. You know? Yeah, but Goose Creek, Somerville, Pleasantville, all those um towns. Yes, every was a boy. Oh, you said they loving. Yeah, depending on what part of North Carolina too. Yeah, Raleigh, Durham, Charlotte. My aunts and relatives, they live there. A lot of people to Charleston. Charleston, they built those super highways. I remember 10 years ago when I knew the trend was happening. All those construction and hotels and widening the roads and expansion and you drive along those highways, you see all those companies hiring people. And it's good paying positions too. It ain't no cheap looking jobs. That's why some of my yeah, that's what I said. People don't need. I said really no more people move to Atlanta. I know my mother and grandmother and stuff. When people be coming into to Atlanta, they like, oh God, they can't stand. If Charleston is getting like that, sometimes when I go to South Carolina, I was like, well, goddamn, what's all this construction going on? Sometimes it used to be a smooth ride. One point going to South Carolina, but they started building up too. At one point, I used to be able to go to Monk's Corner. My grandmother lived in Cross, South Carolina. Go to Monk's Corner. They ain't had no highways to get to no South Carolina and get to those towns. Now they got highway something, and get off at Monk's Corner, get off at this. I was like, what the hell? This highway, brand new highway, never existed. Now Atlanta got a little bit too ghetto and too nope. Trust me, if I wasn't working from home and I haven't decided where I want to live yet and move and have that planned, I'll rent this house out real quick. Yep, it got highways. I'm eating peanut butter. Highway to go to Monk's Corner. I'm like, when that happened? It used to be that Highway 6. And 78, which is that same 78 that take me to South Carolina the back way. If I just get on Highway 78, I could actually go to South Carolina on the same highway, Highway 78, which is Stone Mountain Highway, which is Athens Highway, which is what's the other one? Highway 78. It could take me straight to the back way of Charleston. I could actually take this highway and go straight to Charleston by driving 78. I saw that sign when I was in Goose Creek in South Carolina. It said Highway 78. Because one time I did that. I drove. I said, you know what? I'm going to take 78. I'm not going to drive 20. I'm going to go 78. I drove 78. It was a smooth, country road. It was in the springtime. And I was like driving and driving. I said, "Oh, this is a nice little peaceful ride." I wasn't on 20, worrying about people driving fast like a bat of hell or police. But I was driving so long, I was like, "Dang, I'm still in Georgia." And I said, "Oh, I'm gonna get off this 78. This thing too long." And then I ain't see no gas stations anywhere around, nothing. So I jumped off. The minute I saw 20, I said, I'm gonna get off this 78 and get on 20. And then when I got on 20, there was Highway 6, which takes me straight to my grandmother's house. There was another path I could also go that way, that back road, Lexington and all that stuff. No, 78, I ain't see no gas station. I was like, it's going on 6 o'clock. I said, I've been driving and driving. I was like, God dang, did I even get to Augusta yet? But that back way is a long ways. And it makes sense because before they built Highway 20 and all these major highways and stuff, when people used to go to Alabama or go to Florida, it was that back roads people would take. You ain't had to jump on 75, 85, 95. You could take that all the way through. Long, long ways. Exactly. But yeah, it's always different ways of getting places. What do you think you had to take when before the highways were built? That's what it was. That was the road that leads to anywhere. I knew a person. He used to work at the IRS as a nurse, part of the CDC or whatever. He used to go hiking every season, the Appalachian Mountains, and he was talking about walking. I said, walk where? And they would just walk. People used to do this walking. I was like, that's too much right there. I don't know how to do all that. And they would go up to those mountains and those trails, and they have those walking paths that people did. And they all went right across that well, that is true. That is so true. But I said no. And then people would do with the campers and stuff. But I'll be too scared to do that because I remember I was on a bus going to one of those casinos. I just like going to bears. Remember, man, see, I forgot about those videos. When I went to it's in South Georgia. It was a travel group I went to, and they used to go to Little Grand Canyon, which is south in Georgia. And it was a Black adventurers group, and we went there and went hiking along the mountains. It was real nice. I said I may do that again. But we used to go to a lot of good little places. And I need to start walking Stone Mountain again. It's been chilly for the last few days. I was like, God dang, why is it cold? And and I was going to go up to Stone Mountain and start doing my walking again, climbing up the mountain. Oh, the bike is still there, as you can see behind me. I have not been on that bike. It's a shame. I'm not saying that I didn't, that I spent my money for no reason. It was, my neuropathy has been killing me, so it's been real hard for me to, let me stop. It's been real hard for me to, do it for a long length of time. So So I'm gonna do it tomorrow. I'm gonna go on there because this job at Maximus, it has not been busy. I've been getting calls, but it's like calls to test calls. So it hasn't been coming in as like, oops, an hour and 19 minutes I've been on here. All right, y'all. Yeah, I could use it at any time. All right, so let me go. I'll talk to y'all tomorrow. If you have any questions, just send me a message. So talk to y'all later. Bye.